Happy day, friend. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode number 53 of the Positioning to Profit podcast. It's so good to have you here, for taking the time to seek out more marketing goodness focused specifically on how to position yourself as a category of one so that you can make your competition irrelevant. Why? Because your message matters. I so believe that. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing one of the questions that came through on my bootcamp. I thought it was really timely. When you think you're doing everything right, but it's still not connecting the dots for your premium prospects. What could be going wrong? What is it? Why am I not connecting with my prospects? Now, I'm paraphrasing something that I received in terms of a message, but I have something to share with you that will hopefully put that whole thing to bed once and for all. And it's simple in nature to fix. All right, here we go. Hey there, I'm Patty Dominguez. You're about to discover what it means to position your brand and your business to stand out. This show explores the stories of small business owners just like you who are bringing their message out to the world and impacting their tribe. So if you want to take your business to a category of one status, then hang with me, because this podcast shares everything you need to know about how to be more prolific with your brand so that you can have more profits. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. And today, I love grabbing these little tidbits from this bootcamp that I'm working on. It has been so much fun. It is over a 12-day period, and we're basically going through the positioning essentials that you need in your business. See, most people focus on the tactics. They'll focus on the next best red shiny object, that what they should be doing in their business. So they're like, should I be on Snapchat? Should I be on Instagram? Or why isn't my Instagram not working? And it's because they are skipping the strategy side of things. Like, are they meant to be on Snapchat? Are they meant to be on TikTok, right? And why? Because it all comes down to, where is your premium prospect hanging out? Another thing that came up, which was really the impetus for why I wanted to record this quick episode, was about this question that one of the members in the bootcamp had. She said, so listen, I work on my business, and obviously I'm paraphrasing here. I work on my business and I'm putting together all of the content that I can and sharing from a place of being an expert, right? Because we all want to be in integrity with the things that we do and how we can create transformation in someone's life, in your premium prospect's life. So kind of that whole thing about thinking that, what is it going to take for me to have the credibility in order to come from a place of knowing? And so here's the deal. One of the things that we have to recognize is that, and because here we go. Because I was so guilty of this, thinking I had to get yet another certification, yet another thing, another degree, another accreditation, something that would help establish somehow more of that premium positioning in my head. And I have to tell you, all of those things may be cost of entry, but they're certainly not a competitive advantage. And I said this on a call today, and I thought it was so significant. I was like, wow, that's really good. I'm going to do a podcast about that, because it really matters when we think that if we get more of the learning, more of the academia side of things, that somehow that's going to equate to better results. And let's have an honest moment here. How many times have you seen somebody in your space that is just killing it with what it is that they're doing, but they literally are not the sharpest pencil in the box, to keep it very friendly? You're like, oh my God, really? That person? Come on, man. Really? That guy? And yeah, it's because they are able to position themselves, and there's a likability factor. So think about the content that you're putting out there. Is it really like antiseptic? Is it really brainy or nerdy and unapproachable? Are you trying to be the smartest person in the room and not really realizing that that could be the reason that you're shutting off or kind of pushing away your premium prospect? Because let's face it, if something is too heady, they may be feeling dumb. They're like, what? I don't understand how to read this, or I'm not understanding what it is that you're saying. And so the confused mind says no. So I'm bringing to light this situation because sometimes we feel the need to get the next certification, the next thing, thinking that we have to learn our way to success. And that's just quite frankly not the case. Instead, really recognize that you probably know enough. And there of course, is something to be said for what in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the concept of sharpening the saw. We always want to be sharpening the saw, but what we don't want to do is freeze our productivity because we are sharpening the saw. So in the name of keeping things moving forward, maintaining that momentum, recognize that you probably know enough already, and you have to stop this learning because guess what? It's just cost of entry. It is not the competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is when you are able to elevate your authority positioning to the extent that you're really standing out uniquely, and more importantly, you're memorable. And my favorite is when somebody says, wait a minute, tell me more about that. It's different. They haven't heard it before. Being different is really where it's at. It really is the difference maker. It's about seeing in the lineup of all of the competitors in your space, focusing on the thing that makes you different, on the thing that makes you zag when other people are zigging. That's a competitive advantage. Not because you got that certification, not because you got an additional degree or your handouts are the best looking. None of that matters because quite frankly, it's a nice to have. Certainly doesn't mean you should be sloppy, but it most definitely is not going to give you the competitive advantage that you think it does. That was my big epiphany. Even though I knew it, it just kind of rolled off my tongue and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so good. I have to share it because how many of us go through that thing that we think we have to know more? We have to keep learning. But if I just learn this thing, if I just do this, that means I'm going to be okay to lead others. I'll know just enough to lead others. And that's just quite simply not the case. So understand that difference, move forward in the direction. Of course, you want to be guiding your prospects, your clients to a better life on the other end, right? Taking them from the pain points that they have, moving them to a transformative experience that you can stand behind. So there is a method to the madness. Of course, you want to build that confidence in your prospect's mind that you absolutely can help them with the transformation that they're seeking. By the way, if you do need help with that, if you do need help with positioning yourself uniquely, creating a zag when everybody else is zigging, making your competition irrelevant, you absolutely should be checking out. Start out with my positioning quiz. Go to positioningquiz.com and there you can see what your positioning quotient is. Are you positioned to profit? Again, go to positioningquiz.com where you can grab that free report for yourself. You'll get your own score and it comes with a report and all these cool things on the back end of that. So definitely check that out again at positioning.com. All right, that is my share for today. I thought it was important to share. If anything, it's a pulse check for you to say, am I going overboard with this learning mode that I'm in? Or am I really putting my stuff out there, testing it out with my prospects, testing out to see, is this resonating with them? And so it's testing, tweaking, and then standing out in a way that is so distinctly different, that is so unique, that it gets people talking, gets people saying, tell me more about that. That's how you know you hit the gold. All right, there you have it. That is my episode for today. Make sure to let me know what you think. Of course, if you want to contact me on social media, I'm on all the social channels, and I look forward to catching you on the next episode of the Positioning to Profit podcast. All right, thanks so much. Thank you so much for checking out the Positioning to Profit podcast. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new episodes. And also, it would mean the world to me if you would take a quick moment to leave a rating and review on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcast player. It really helps to get the word out about the podcast and, of course, the featured guests. And lastly, please make sure to connect with me on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, I'm on all of them, and use hashtag positioning to profit so that I can search you out and connect that way too. All right, thanks so much. See you next time.